evening, everyone. Good evening, and this is the Harmonic Scanner 52 Weeks to Freedom call. And I always start our calls off with our daily affirmation. I am so thankful and grateful now that I have patience and discipline so that I am a master trader. Oh, wow. It is Friday, guys. And I'm excited to be able to share this information with you because we are doing a pop-up call to review the information that we went over on Wednesday. But I'm going to treat this call as if it was Wednesday's call, so we'll go through it as if you hadn't received the information previously. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacqueline Lopez, and I am one of the creators of the Milwaukee Sauce Strategy, and I am your honored educator for this evening. I want to welcome all of the new traders to the journey with us. I know this is starting off the beginning of June, and we're welcoming a lot of new traders to the group. So guys, first things first, stay plugged in to your study groups because that's where you're going to get your greatest amount of support. All right. Don't feel like you're going to be left behind because we're going to make sure that everybody is on top of everything, making sure that you get all of the support you need. Each group has amazing leadership to help you through the process as we go along through this journey together. All right. So formalities first. Let's just get it out of the way, guys. I am not a professional financial advisor. I am not here to give you advice on how to trade your money. I am simply here to share the information and the education that I've learned throughout my journey here through IML and all of the various tools and resources that I have had access to in order to get me to where I am, and hopefully be able to share with you some techniques, some strategies so that it will help you on your journey to becoming a master trader. All right, so since we got out of the way, when you come on, please mute your line so that we don't have any distractions. Want to make sure we get through all of the information, make sure that everyone has all of the information. Now, guys, if for all of those individuals that have been on any one of my calls, you know that this is not going to be a lecture. This is a conversation, guys. So the more you put into it is going to determine how much you're going to get out of it. So we're going to work through this process together. I'll be learning from you just like you will be learning from me. All right. So the topic for this evening, average true range, aka ATR. How many people on the call has ever heard of the average true range?
I have Miss Jacqueline from the first call.
All right, so great. It sounds like, or it's looking like, the call is full of mostly individuals that weren't on that call. And that's great because then it's a fresh start. You don't have any biases to the information I'm going to share. But it sounds like, Marcus, that you have a little bit of information, so you're going to be my support. So you help me along as we go through the process, all right?
Sounds good to me.
Jacqueline, I also was on the call on Wednesday. This is Kim. I sent you my my chart to look at, so I'm interested in hearing more.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sugar. I took a look at it, and we're going to go through some of those pairs together to make sure that we are all calculating out those figures correctly so that we don't have any mistakes. Because like Kim said, she took the initiative to complete the whole chart on her own. And she's already provided it to me so that we can have it as a team. But the only way that we're going to learn this thing together and be able to utilize the information when you're trading on your own is for you to learn this process too. So we're going to make sure that you get the information as well, and you're not just utilizing the tools and resources that we have that someone else has shared, so that you don't cheat yourself. We want to treat yourself. All right. Okay. So now the importance of the ATR. The reason that we are spending so much time on it. All right, I'm gonna mute your line. Here we go. All right, so the reason why we're gonna spend so much time on this information, and the reason why it's so valuable, is because it gives the trader an opportunity to trade with greater confidence and less emotion. All right. I'm going to say that again. It's going to give you the opportunity to trade with greater confidence and less emotion, because you're going to already have another technique, another tool under your belt in order to help you forecast what the market is going to do. So that's what the ATR is going to do for you. It's also going to help you forecast the average weekly pip count for each valid currency pair. And if you were on class 4's call, you know you've already been shown, you've already been taught through the other classes, through 3 and 4, what those currency pairs are. And they should have been shared in the various study groups so that you know all of the currency pairs that we're going to be focusing on throughout this journey. All right. It also is going to help you set the standard, so that you can follow the rules. If you know what the average pip count is for each pair, then you're not going to take trades or predict an analysis that is going to contradict that. And the relevance in all of that is, guys, is that it's going to hold you accountable. It's going to show you some discipline. And it's going to obviously teach you some patience, because you're going to have to wait for the market to set itself up. You never want to force a trade. And so in doing so, you're going to be able to practice proper leverage and risk management, because you won't be looking for a trade that is going to swing trade and give you 100 pips if the pair is only on average going to give you out 50 pips. And that's just an example of what we're going to be talking about this evening. Now, the significance of the ATR is it's going to help you with setting your weekly pip goals. That's part of what your trading plan is. And if you know what your goal is for every week, and you know what the pairs are going to produce, or you can typically forecast what they're going to do, because we can't guarantee anything. We know the market is unpredictable and is subject to do whatever it wants based on some unknown factors that we're going to continue to learn about over this journey. It's also going to help you keep a log of your weekly trends. You want to pay attention to if it's bearish, if it's bullish, if it's consolidating. All of those things are going to come in handy as we go along and we start putting all of these pieces to the puzzle together. It's also going to help you keep a log of your reversal patterns, your dojis, your engulfing candlestick patterns, because all of those things are red flags. They're caution signs, things to make us notice the market. And the ATR is going to help us with another tool to produce that information so that we can be successful as traders. All right. Now, screenshot this, screenshot this, screenshot this. This is the calculation, the mathematical equation for us calculating the average pip count for each week. And I've given us 2 examples because as we already should know through going through our academy, that when we are calculating PIPs, when we're looking at the JPY pairs, they are calculated slightly differently. So in order to do this correctly, you have to have mastered your ability to calculate PIPs correctly, which is the reason why I said at the start of the 52 weeks during our first class is we don't have time to go over how to calculate a PIP. What's a PIP? You should already know that information by completing your academy. Guys, this is not a beginner's course. This is us putting everything that you've learned in the academy and us adding some extra insight, some extra tools, techniques, and some amazing strategies to your arsenal so that you become double-breasted. And if you learn how to do this and you add this and complement what you're already doing, what you've already learned, it's just going to make you that much more successful. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the weekly time frame. You're going to want to screenshot this so that you can keep these things in mind when you're looking at your ATR and you're doing your analysis each week when you're preparing for the market to open up on Sunday. So this stuff should be done weekly, either Friday after the market closes or sometime on Saturday or before the market opens on Sunday when you're preparing yourself for what the week is to come. You're going to be looking for the overall trend. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it consolidating? That is important. It's going to help us to determine or predict what is going to happen in the future. As I said before, this is a hypothesis that you're making. You're making an educated, informed decision based on your financial analysis of what has already happened in the market, because we already know history repeats itself. So we're going to be looking for whether or not each weekly candle is going to be bearish or bullish. That's going to make a difference. We want to know because the ATR is going to tell us in what direction and how many pips is each pair going to produce in any given week. So if it's only going to give out 100 pips going to the upside, that's going to be very informative when we're making our analysis. We're also going to want to pay attention to whether or not they're reversal patterns like the dojis or the engulfing candles. And we're going to have to make notations of that kind of stuff so that over the course of the next 52 weeks, we're gathering information as a team, as a unit. Because we know that the more data that we collect, the more accurate our analysis will become. And we're going to be using what I have created as an ATR tracker to help us find the ATR for each week. So I'm going to share it so that we can go through it together. And I hope you guys took a screenshot of the calculation, because we're going to actually walk through some of those equations together to make sure that we understand exactly how this process works. Can everyone see the tracker on my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, I've already taken the liberty of creating the tracker for the first 4 weeks of our 52-week journey. And as you can see, I've already listed out all 28 of the valid currency pairs. And some of them have already been done. As you noticed, EUR/USD was one of the examples that we had. And if you notice, on average, based on the last 4 weeks, EUR/USD gives out an average of 99.9 pips in a week. Does everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Now, this last column here is for the current week. Excuse me. And if you notice, on Wednesday, it had already given out 146.4 pips. So we're going to go back to TradingView and look at the weekly chart together and see how many pips in total did EUR/USD give out this week. All right, so we got EUR/USD. You can see we're on the weekly chart. And here, this candle right here, if you take your crosshairs and you place it on that candle on the weekly chart, if you look at the top of your screen under the compare button, there is a series of numbers. Does everyone see those numbers?
Yes.
All right. Now, if you remember on the printout on the spread on the PowerPoint slide, if you remember, the equation said we're going to take the high and we're going to minus the low. So I need someone to help me and record the numbers so that we can subtract this stuff together. All right, so I'm going to give you the high. It's 1.13478. And the low is 1.11603. Does someone have the numbers?
Yes, ma'am, I got them.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to pull up the calculator. Somebody give me the high.
1.13478.
Minus
1.11603.
603 equals 187.5 pips. And it is green. So if you notice on the tracker, what was that number? 187.5 to the upside. So if you notice, EUR/USD gave out almost twice as many pips. It gave out almost 2 times the amount of pips in that 1 week. So it doubled its pip count. That's important to know. And as we add that information to our tracker, it's going to help us to determine exactly how many pips each pair could potentially give out. Because that means that there was something that happened in the market to push that market to the upside that far. And what happened last week? Was there any news for EUR/USD that anyone is aware of? I mean, for this week? What news happened this week?
There was news, but I'm not sure exactly what type of news.
Okay. There has to have been something, and those are the things that we're going to want to look for as a team. When the market does moves like this, it's gonna force us to take a look at history and see what happened. So that's one thing we can do as a group. We can go back and take a look at the news. Was it NFP? Was NFP this week? Did that happen this week? Or was that last week?
Yeah, NFP was today.
That was today.
That was today. Okay, so it's possible if we look at some of the smaller time frames, that news potentially pushed to the upside. Did it push up? Did anybody catch that? All right, if not, we can always, like I said, go back as a team. This is what we're gonna be doing for the next 52 weeks, guys. It's finding techniques, tools, strategies that's gonna help us as a team take a look at what we need to look at so that we can see what it is that the market is doing in order to help us be more profitable. Because guess what? We might have thought that we were looking at a downtrend, but if we didn't know how many pips it was doing or what the weekly time frame was producing for us, we wouldn't have been aware of that. All right, so now we also took a look at, as an example, USD JPY. And if you notice, on average, since the last 4 weeks of data being collected, UJ gives out about 182.5 pips. And on Wednesday, it had already given out 171.6 pips. So let's just go take a look and see what UJ did for this week. And this is what you're gonna wanna do every week for every pair. And as a team, we're going to be looking at the 4 pairs that we're looking at together. So it's going to help us stay on track. All right. I got my crosshairs on the current candle. I'm going to give somebody the high and the low. Somebody record the numbers and we're going to subtract them together. The high is 108.880 and the low is 108.195. Somebody got the numbers?
Yes, ma'am, I got them.
All right. What's the high?
108.880.
Minus?
108.195.
195. Is that right? 108.8. Oops, my bad, y'all. 108.880. And was that what it was? Is that the calculation y'all came up with?
Hold on, I ain't put it through the calculator yet. Hold on.
Give them to me one more time. Let's make sure we're doing them correctly.
108.880.
880 minus
108.195.
0.195. Yeah. All right. I guess that's what it is.
Jacqueline, UJ took a big drop today after the NFP.
Is that what happened?
It was huge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that why you dropped that many pips? Because I'm looking at that number like that number don't look right. When y'all was looking at that number with me, I was thinking like, hold on, is that number?
Yeah, it went like I think I caught like 60 pips on it.
Okay.
And I got out early.
So was the candle still red?
It was when I looked at it, and that was like this morning, like in my time, Pacific time. It was about 10:30. It was still red.
Yeah. Okay. So look at that. Okay. So yeah, check that out. It's a week. This is the current week, correct? No. Wait. No, that's not the current week. Look, it already started next week's candle. Did you guys see that? Who picked up on that? Do you see it? Do you see the count, the date at the bottom of the screen? It already
Yes,
says
ma'am.
June.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's already dropped 68 pips. And the market is technically closed. We'll be talking about that in the upcoming weeks. So we were actually calculating what's actually part of next week's candle. Check that out. So we actually should be calculating out the June 3rd candle, which is this current week that we're in that just closed today, correct?
Yes.
So yes. So we're going to look at those highs and lows, subtract those numbers, and it will tell us exactly how many pips was given out over this week since the market has closed. All right, here goes the high for this week, June 3rd, 2019, 109.532. And the low is 107.816. Does someone have the numbers for this week?
Yes.
All right, let's calculate it out. All right, what's the high?
109.532.
109.55?
532.
532 minus
107.816.
816. 171.6 pips. 171.6 pips. So by Wednesday, UJ was done for the week. Does everyone see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
So if you can see that, you know the power of the ATR. And what I mean by the power of the ATR is this. By Wednesday, UJ had gave up all it was going to give, right? As far as how many pips it was giving out for this week. So if we go back and look at the smaller time frames, I'm sure that UJ probably consolidated from Wednesday until Friday. It didn't give out any more pips to the downside.
Jackie, this is Margarita.
Yes, ma'am.
Mind blowing.
Yes, yes.
Freaking amazing, yeah.
You see that? So now, why would you want to get into a trade for UJ that was called on Thursday or today if you already know that UJ gave out all it was going to give by Wednesday? It was done. And we knew that when we did the call on Wednesday because we calculated that number because we saw it there when we started this call. And if you notice, the market has already started calculating and moving to the downside because whether we know it or not, the market is still open and moving and fluctuating because transactions are still happening even when our brokers are technically off the clock. That's the reason why we have that red candle that's already formulating, telling us what is happening and what we're anticipating come Sunday when the market opens back up. So, because I noticed that with UJ, let's go back and double check and make sure that EUR/USD didn't do the same thing and formulate a candle for next week. Because we want to make sure that these numbers are accurate. EUR/USD. Nope. So if you notice, EUR/USD closed out on this week's candle. It has not started a fresh candle for next week. So the number that we entered into our tracker is accurate. So I want to make sure that you guys all understand what we need to do as a team. And if we split this thing up in groups, since we've already been assigned certain pairs, we'll be able to figure out Which pairs are the most volatile? Which ones give out the most pips? Which ones move the fastest? Which ones move the slowest? Which ones should a beginner be looking at in order to master? Which ones is more advanced? We'll be able to determine all of those things. It's like David Wills always tells us, we have to become intimate with our charts. We have to learn them, learn these pairs, learn them as if you're in a relationship with them so that you know what they do. You'll start to pick up on the patterns. You start seeing Batman, you start seeing Head and Shoulders, you start seeing the dojis, the engulfing candles. You start to see all of those things. You start to see harmonic patterns. Before you know it, you're seeing bats and butterflies and sharks. And it all comes with time and patience and practice and discipline and commitment and dedication. Is there another pair that you guys want to look at so that we can have another one under our belt, out the way, so that we can work through one together?
Let's try AJ.
AJ, all right, let's check it out. AUDJPY. Well, we've already done a JPY. Let's do a different one. Let's do either a GBP or an NZD or something like that. Let's check that out.
Can we look at NZD CAD?
Sure, let's check that one out. NZD CAD. And just for me, for my sake, guys, I use Oanda. So if you're going to be doing the ATRs and trying to compare them to what I'm looking at, that's the broker that I use because it's closest to Trader's Way when I'm trading on Forex, because that is the broker that I use. Now, I'm not promoting that as a broker to you. I'm just sharing with you what I do as my process. So I use Oanda because it just seems to be closest to my Trader's Way chart when I'm using MetaTrader 4. Okay, so NZD CAD, we're going on the weekly chart, and the process is obviously, like I said, you're going to want to make notations if it's a downtrend, if it's an uptrend, if it's consolidating. If you notice, my candles are still on the Heikin-Ashi candles. If you use the regular candles to do this technique, the colors potentially will change. So keep that in mind. I use Heikin-Ashi. If you're using my process, then this process, the way that we're doing it, then that is the type of candle that you'll want to use to make sure that your numbers all match up. So just keep those things in mind. All right, so here we go. Because we're starting with this particular pair fresh, we're going to start with last week's candle, which is May 27, 2019. And I'm going to give you the high and the low. We're going to calculate it out, and then we're going to use the chart together. All right. All right. Here's the high. 0.88548, and the low is 0.87684.
Mama, can you get me a plate?
Go tell your brother to get you a plate. Thank you. If you notice, it appears to be a doji, and we're going to need to make a notation of that. I didn't make any room on the ATR tracker for that. We're going to have to figure out as a team how we're going to keep notations of those reversal patterns, but we're going to want to make a note of it. And if you've been keeping track of your trading journal since the beginning of this journey, then you'll already have a system of making notations of those types of items. But we want to make a note of it. So it's red. Who has the numbers?
I got him, Miss Jacqueline.
All right, let's go.
0.88548.
Minus
0.87684.
684.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Check that out. How many pips is that, everybody? I want to make sure that you all know how to calculate your pips. You guys remember? Does anyone remember how to calculate your pips?
You had a little error there, Jacqueline.
Yeah, that's not
Those
the
last
correct
digits you
number.
entered, you transposed a couple of digits there. You may want to do that over.
Nope, that's right. That's how it's going to come out. But if you guys know from your back office in your academy, you're going to have to move the decimal place over in order to tell you how many pips that is. So if we know that a pip is the 4th decimal place over, then the 3rd decimal place over is our 10th place. So that in turn would have been 90 pips.
They're saying you put 4.8 instead of 8.4 for the low.
Oh, okay. Let's go back and change it. Give me the numbers again.
88548.
That's the high.
Yes, ma'am.
And the low?
Is 0.87684.
684.
Yes,
Forgot
ma'am.
the decimal. Forgot the decimal.
Hold on, wait. Give them to me again. Point.
Is this the low or the high you need?
I need both of them. Give me the high one more time.
0.88548.
548 minus
0.87684.
87684.
Yes, ma'am.
84. All right, that's what we was getting mixed up. All right, there we go. That's better. That looks better. All right, so that is 86.4 pips. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So that in turn means that NZD CAD for the week of May the 27th gave out how many pips? $86.4 pips. It gave out 86.4 pips. And was it red or was it green?
Red.
It was red.
Red.
All right. Let's go back to it. NZD CAD. For the week before that, May 20th, 2019, the high is 0.88662. The low is 0.86914. Someone got the numbers?
Yes, ma'am. I got them.
All right, and it's red. All right. All right, give me the numbers.
0.88662.
662 minus
0.86914.
86914. 174.8. Did I do that right? Yes. Everybody got that? 174.8?
Yes.
All right. 174.8. 174.8. Red. All right, we're going to go back to the chart. We're going to find the previous week. May 13th, 2019. The high 0.89169. The low 0.87592. Somebody got the number?
I got them.
All right. Go to the calendar, to the calculator. All right, give me the high.
0.89169.
169. 0.89169
Correct.
minus
0.87592.
87592. 157.7 pips. 157.7. And it was red, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And then the first week of the 52 weeks, which was May the 6th, 2019. The high is 0.89585. The low is 0.87928. Let me know when you got the numbers.
I got the numbers.
All right. Give me the high.
0.89585.
0.89585 minus
0.7928.
7928. No, that's not right. Is that what you said? Is that right?
No, that's not correct.
That's right.
Maybe I put down the numbers wrong. Hold on, let's go back and see.
What was the low?
I have the numbers.
Okay, what was the low?
The low was 0.87928.
928. All right. 165.7 pips.
Yes.
165.7 pips.
Yes, that's what I have as well.
All right. And it was red also, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. So, as we can see, I don't know what happened last week. It only gave out 86.4 pips.
Great, thanks, Lauren.
But if you notice, on average, it actually gives out 146.15 pips in a week. And so we're going to go take a look at what it gave out this current week so we can see where we are. If it made up for the weeks that it lost, for the pips that it lost the previous week. I'm interested. All right, so this current week, June 3rd, 2019, the high is 0.89209 and the low is 0.88167. It's green. Does someone have the numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to the calculator. All right, somebody give me the high.
0.89209
Minus
0.88167.
check that out,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
So that is 104.2. We go back. I'll make it bigger. And it was green, but I'm making it blue because we just keeping it color coded to what's going on this particular chart. So I don't know if your candles are green, if your candles are blue, but on MetaTrader 4, we know we go blue, we team blue, because blue mean money, you know, blue mean up. That's just how it goes, so that's how we're keeping it. Blue is up, red is down. We know blue is buy according to the Milwaukee sauce, red is sell according to the sauce, so that's just how we got it color coded on the chart. All right, that'll help everybody through it. So if you notice, last week it only gave out 86.4, but this week it gave out 104.2. So it started to make up for the pips, but if you notice, it switched directions. So look, it gave out 165, it gave out 157, it gave out 174. The momentum in the volume slowed down. It only gave out 86, and if we remember, it was a doji. It reversed, and now it's going to the upside, and it gave out 104.2 pips going up this week. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So as you can see, the power of the ATR, it helps us determine.
Hi, good night, everybody. Miss Jackie.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm kind of lost.
Okay. What's your question?
Hello?
Hello? You breaking up. Does everybody understand what we've done so far? Is there any questions as to how we're calculating out the ATR?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
So depending on which broker you're using, you're going to have anywhere between, say, a 2 and 5 pip difference, possibly, because I'm looking at the numbers that I put in on mine, and they're close, but they're not exact. But I don't think I was using the same broker on my trading view chart. Does that matter? Like, is that a huge deal?
No, not really. It's still going to tell you the direction, and it's going to give you an average pip count so that you can help to forecast how many pips the pair is going to give out. If it like, for example, if my EU says 99.9, but yours says 98 or 96, you know what I'm saying? You still right in the range of knowing or being able to predict. EU is not going to give you more than 100 pips in a week. It would be a safe analysis to say that typically, because we can see that it did give out more than 100 pips, but then there are some other factors that are going on in the market that we'll start to learn about as the weeks go on and we add more information to it.
Okay, so then on the one that I did, I had already figured out the very last column, so I should go back and redo those, right? Because now it's the end of the week. You should always wait till the weekend.
Yes.
Okay, and then can I just continue on with the chart that you gave us, like, and just keep adding weeks?
Yes, and that's what I was going to suggest, that we as a team will be collecting information for this entire year.
Perfect. Thank you.
So ultimately, we'll know based on a year's worth of data how accurate our analysis will be based on however many pips on average a pair would give out. And we should be able to go back in previous years, and if we wanted to do the calculations, be able to compare that and even see how history might repeat itself as far as patterns and trends during seasonal times throughout the year. And that's just more advanced analysis that we'll get into as we go on.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Can you possibly look at USD Chef?
Sure, we
Chef?
can look at a franc pair. All right, let's check it out. It looks like we got a question. Let me see here. I'm gonna unmute. All right, come on. Come on with your question, Akeem. Or whoever's logged in is him.
Hi, good night.
Did you have a question? Any question specifically that you needed help with?
Yes, I do. The numbers. I see you getting the numbers
Okay.
from the trading view, but I'm not too sure exactly where you're getting it from. So I'm super lost.
Okay, I'm gonna show you right now.
All right, thank you.
Okay. What was the pair we was looking at? What was the franc pair we was gonna look at?
USD Chef?
USD franc. All right. USD franc. Okay, let's clear that off. Okay. So let's see. All right. So this USD franc, we on the weekly chart. I got my cursor right here. All right, now, does everyone see these numbers up here that's moving at the top of my screen? They turning red, they turning green. Can everybody see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
See if I can put an arrow up there. Oh, let's take that arrow out because that's it's going sideways here. Let's move it like this. These numbers right here. Boom. All right, those numbers right there. If you remember in the equation that I gave you, and I told you to screenshot it, and we're gonna share them in our study groups. Whatever you screenshot, drop them in the study groups so that we can share the information. Okay. Now these numbers, if you notice, there is a number right here that has a little H next to it. That number represents the high for that candle. That is the highest price that price went to, or the highest number that price went to during that particular candle. And if you notice, the number that's right next to it has an L in front of it, and that is the low. That is the lowest price that price went to during that one particular candle. So in order to calculate the ATR, we subtract the high from the low. And that will give us the average amount of pips that each pair should give out typically. I'll say that again. It should give out typically, all things considering, in any one direction. And that's the reason why we notate the color of the candle, so we know which direction the market is moving in. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All right, so now we're gonna go through this pair together. So we have another one done and down and out the way. All right, so look here, guys. Look at the franc pair. It's already produced a large candle, which is dated June 10th, which is next week's candle. You're gonna wanna watch for that on certain pairs. And as we study them, if you notice in your study group, we've already recognized two pairs that we've looked at tonight that have already produced a candle for next week. But we're going to go back and take a look at the 4 previous weeks and this current week for the sake of filling out our ATR tracker for tonight. So you want to make sure that you have your crosshairs lined up on the candle. Go ahead.
I just was thinking, both pairs that we've noticed that had the new candle have the USD in the front. Remind me again, is that the quote or the base?
The base is always in the front, and the
Okay,
quote is always the second.
So both of those have the USD as the base in the front that have the candles. Is that because the dollar is like in a slump, do you think? That's why they're already got the red candles?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Those are all little hidden little nuances, things that the market produces that we're going to learn about as we continue forward, because there are some hidden factors that we just don't learn about, that we don't know about. Let's be honest, guys. Us trading in the market isn't moving this market in any one direction. We're not controlling the market. There are hidden larger factors at work here. And that's why it's because the market is still technically open. It's just your broker has closed for the weekend, so they're not on the clock taking transactions. So we can't place a trade, but there's still currency exchanges that are happening even while technically the market is closed. Does that make sense?
It does. I was just thinking that because the USD dollar's, in a slump and it's going down, with those being the two that we've looked at that has the USD as the base pair, maybe that's why they already had the red candles.
It's possible. It's possible that the price is dropping so fast. You know what I'm saying? It's still moving in that direction. The momentum, the volume of the market is still pushing to the downside. So it's a good thing for us to keep an eye on, and we'll notice other patterns like that too. It might be other pairs that we see. And then as we do our analysis as a team, we'll start to learn those things. But that's the power of this group, guys. You don't have to try and figure out all this stuff by yourself. We trying to get 1,000 different traders to come together so that we can develop them into leaders and educators and master traders, so that we can develop ourselves a trading platform in which, guys, we can really make a difference, because this information is powerful. All right, so let's take one of the numbers. We're going to look at this week, May 27, 2019. It's a red candle. The high is 1.00982 and the low is 1.00013. Does someone have the numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. But that was a great point, Kim. I didn't even pick up on that, it being the USD as the base. I'm not sure. The US pair is important, and you guys should start studying the different pairs so that you understand, how they are in relationship to each other. And the history of the market is very interesting also, being able to know how those 8 major currency pairs came to be. Powerful information, guys. All right, who's got the numbers?
I do.
All right, I'm ready.
1.00982.
982.
And
1.00982 minus
1.00013.
13. All right, that is 96.9. We go back to our tracker. I'm going to USD to think. What was that number?
96.9, red.
0.9. Make it red. Load it out. All right. Let's go back. Take a look at that previous week. All right, May 20th, 2019. The high 1.01239, the low 1.00086. Red. Someone got the number?
I do.
All right. Our calculator. All right, what is it?
1.01239.
1239 minus
1.00086.
86
Mm-hmm.
equals 115.3.
Red.
115. 115.3 is what I said, right?
Correct.
All right. That red.
Yep.
Fold out. All right. Go back to our chart. And the previous candle before that, May 13th, 2019, the high 1.01478, the low 1.00504. It's red. Does someone have the number?
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the calculator. All right, I'm ready.
1.01478.
Minus
1.00504.
04 equals 97.4.
Red.
97.4. Oops. Let me move it. No. 97.4. Red. Bolded. Back to the chart and the first week. All right, May 6, 2019. The high 1.02263. The low 1.01012.
Blue.
Blue. Green, blue, green, right? And it, what is that? Is that a doji?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got the numbers?
I do.
I'm ready.
1.02263.
Minus
1.01012.
1, 2 equals 125.1. 125.1. It was blue. Make it blue. Hold it. All right. So on average, USD franc gives out 108.67, 109 pips in a week. Let's see what it gave out this current week. Which is June 3rd, 2019, the high 1.00630, the low 0.98542. You got the numbers?
I do. Is it red?
It's red.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1.00 630
630 minus
0.9
0.9
8542.
8542.
42.
208.8.
Yeah, that's what I had too. I thought that was strange that it was 100 more than.
Let me go back. Let's go back and look at it. Let's just double check it. No, but look at the size of that candle. Let's measure it. Look, here's the measuring stick.
I got that amount.
If you ever doubt yourself, take your measuring stick, go to the top of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and then go down to the end of it And it should give you, oh, it should give you right around that, right? It'll be a little off, obviously, because of where you started to place it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. 200 and some pips on that one candle for that week. Okay, what was that number? 208. What did we say? 208?
Yeah, I got mine. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Sorry. 208.8. Mm-hmm.
Yep, 0.8. And that's still red, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So then, okay, that's a red flag, right? Something must have happened that we're going to want to go back and take a look at. Because if it's averaging out 108 pips, it gave out an extra 100 pips last week, this week. Right?
Yeah.
And it could have been because of the NFP. It could have been because of news. I don't know what was going on. I wasn't really paying attention to this particular pair to be able to tell you. But as a team, as a group in our study groups, as you're starting to actually find a relationship with these pairs, you're going to start to notice these patterns. And this is just one more technique that you can use to help you do that, so that you can pinpoint out, okay, dang, the market did this because of this, or the market did that because of that. It's going to help you to have a clearer picture of what your analysis for the future is supposed to be.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, guys. So I just want to make sure that we stay, on top of being respectful for everyone's time. I wanted to make sure that you guys went through some of the pairs together. We didn't get a chance to go through any Frank pairs previously, so that's great. We got to look at some pairs that we didn't look at previously, so that we have some new data to add to our tracker. But what your next steps are going to be is we want to calculate the ATR for all of the currency pairs. We want to know which ones give out the most pips, the least pips, which ones move fast, which ones moving slow. We want to know, do they typically go to the downside? Are they typically moving to the upside? Do they like to consolidate a lot? We're going to want to be really focusing in on those 4 pairs in each study group, because strength is in numbers, and we can help each other gather the information collectively as a team. Then we'll get through the process quicker. You're going to want to also keep studying those assigned pairs. Become intimate with them guys. Study the Milwaukee sauce. If you got questions, ask your team. Ask the study group, so that you guys get the support that you need. We're going to see leaders emerge throughout this process that's just going to simply take the initiative to help each other and help those in need out, because, guys, teamwork makes the dream work. And we want to keep following that trading plan, because that trading plan is what's going to get us to becoming a 5, 6, 7, 8-figure earner if we continue to follow the process and use proper leverage and risk management. And you're going to want to stay plugged into your study groups and the main Harmonic Scanner Telegram group, because confirmed signals will be placed in that group to help you achieve your trading goals and accomplish the end result, which is completing your trading plan. So keep that in mind. We're not forcing any trades. We're making sure that we go through the proper channels to make sure that we give you the most value that we possibly can over the next 52 weeks. I'm so excited, guys, for all that we have in store for you guys, the information that is still to come. If your mind was blown by tonight's call, just imagine, just be excited to know that we got more and more and more information to pour into you to make you a master trader. So if you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to wrap this call up with that. And I hope to see you all on next week's call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night, Miss Jackson.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, you as well.